Acolytes. Rev says this so. She tried to expose Tectone and backfired horribly. Now, as you all may or may not know, I am not a fan of Tectone. But, as is my duty as a Lich, who actually tries to be neutral, and on the, well, let's just say positive side of things, not always, but I am actually fine with her getting shafted, especially because this is a Hasan Orbiter. She would literally do anything for Hasan Piker. And if you do that, well, in my opinion, if you support terrorist actions, you're effed. If you support someone that supports those actions, you're also effed in the head. But let's just see what this is about. And especially Tectone. As I said, I am not a fan of Tectone. But I heard that he's on a redemption arc right now. So who knows?
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about Denims TV, better known as the Hasan Piker Waiting Room, whose dashing political commentary is far more effective than any lullaby you'll ever encounter. Now, she's been very controversial for quite some time now, but her most recent controversy is a very odd one, where she tried to expose Tectone with some DMs that they shared privately, and she thought this was a massive expose of Tectone. However, the public reaction has been the exact opposite. Many people thinking his messages were quite reasonable, and all of this shows just how out of touch people like Denims TV really are. Now, before we get into that current situation, let me just show you guys.
And by the way, I seen those. This is what happens if you show people like this compassion. You will see why. I am just let's just say buttering you up, acolytes, just so you can, see
what Denims TV is all about. Let's show the highlight reel. This isn't everything, but just some of the things she's done. She was the person who upped a bounty from $20,000 to $30,000 on the head of Mark Kern over Stellar Blade outfit drama. She was also one of the members of the sponsored Twitch panel where they made a race-based tier list with Arab creators being in the S tier and Jewish creators being in the F tier, meaning bad. And then she made many comments about Ethan Klein and his wife, Ela, including accusing Ela of killing unarmed children while she served in the IDF. And then shortly after that said the false CPS report made against their family was not a big deal because their children, 3 and 5 years old, were too young to form memories yet, which is a completely untrue statement whatsoever.
It's not just untrue, it's also disgusting. As I said, I am not a free speech purist. But the amount of hate that Ethan Klein gets, I do not understand why the fuck he doesn't sue them out of their minds. Because this is slander to a high degree. And especially if it comes to children. Acolytes, there is some things you just don't cross. And those efforts are just going for it time and time again. And I know, in America, just like in Germany, there is a privileged group that is very high on their power right now. And yes, Denims is one of those that are in this privileged group that can basically do what the F they want. But those times are ending. And the earlier they end, the better it is.
And then she took her talents over to the now failed content cop on H3. You can see her in the background really showing off her empathy, doing a Fortnite dance. And then when Ethan Klein responded to that content cop and some of the claims made by Denims, and by respond, basically just show her own statements back to her, she spurred out and started crowdfunding a lawsuit against him for defamation. And despite her retraction request, These were basically laughed at by Ethan Klein, and eventually after 1 week, and after only funding less than 1/3 of her goal, she refunded everyone for the lawsuit. Yes, so that's basically a taste of...
Yeah, but she, to be honest, she only refunded it because she called out for it and was told that she will just pocket the money and go out. There were a lot of eyes on it. That's why she backed up, I believe.
Who she is, and one of her beefs that's been ongoing for about a year or two has been with Tectone. Now, it appears from what I've seen between their public interactions, they had good rapport until like late 2023, early 2024, where things got very sour between the two. And Tectone has a theory on this, as he shared in this clip. He thinks that she has Tectone derangement syndrome.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Denims has Tectone derangement syndrome. I think she is a very weak-minded individual that cannot get over her sexual thirst for me. And I just feel like she can't keep her name out of my mouth because she wants to be with me, and that's just pretty much it. And it sucks because, I mean, I'm already happily in a relationship, and it'll never work. You know, maybe, I mean, she did invite me to Fortnite a couple of years ago. Maybe I'll take her up on that offer one day. But the reality is that I just feel like it's honestly really sad. I do. I think it's really, really, really fucking sad because I understand that the heart wants what the heart wants. But Denims, I'm sorry. I will never date you. I won't. I'm sorry. And it'll just never work. And you can keep talking about me all you like, and I hope it makes you feel good making so many videos about me. But you're just not good enough for me, man. Like, I'm a great-looking guy. I have great morals. Everybody talks about how great of a guy I am. And I just feel like I'm out of your league. So, yeah, I'm sorry. And, yeah, plus, I'll be real. I would never date a chick with an OnlyFans ever again because why would I do that when I can just pay $4.99 and get the whole thing?
So after many public exchanges...
Fair enough. That was based... It's... By the way, Denims is in a group that's morally just, in my opinion, unacceptable. If you have a partner and you cheat on this partner, you're effed in the head. Just F you for that. I despise it. Don't do it. And if you're so morally corrupt that you go after someone who's already taken, you're also fucked in the head. Don't do it. Why? There are other options. And if those two people aren't happy, then just wait until they get separated. But don't fucking go in while someone's in a relationship. Just get the fuck out.
Changes between the two. Most importantly, when Denims has repeatedly accused Tectone of being an abuser, she decided to respond to that previous clip by saying this: going to make a special exception and share these DMs with the public. Do with this info what you will. Now brace yourselves. This is a massive expose right here. Yo, you want to play Marvel Rivals sometime? I know we've had poor interactions in the past and we've both said pretty awful stuff to one another, but I kind of don't want to hold grudges on people anymore. All good if not. Now, this was sent back in January, and personally speaking, I would not want to play Marvel Rivals with someone who accused me of R-wording someone, but hey, to each their own. But
yes,
this is the set of DMs that she provides that are supposed to expose him as, I don't know, something, I guess. And the comment section is absolutely ripping her apart. Now, of course, there's sycophants like this saying, oh my god, he's so embarrassing. And of course, they can't provide a single reason why this interaction is embarrassing whatsoever. But of course, the majority of the comments are dunking on her. You can see just a random selection in order here. What was this proving or supposed to show? This makes Tectone look really reasonable and kind. Leaking DMs is a big no-no. This makes you look really bad. So he respectfully asked to play a game and squash beef. Wow, this is crazy. So all you did was expose he wanted to squash things and you're the one not doing so, and that's a win. All right, LMAO. I have no idea who you are, but is this supposed to be a win or something? I don't know either party at all, but I'm not sure what this is exposing. Is there some hidden lore I'm unaware of? Because this just looks like someone apologizing for something and asking to play a game. Bro just wants to game with a fellow Twitch streamer. It's not that big of a deal. And it goes on and on and on. You get the point.
Yes,
a lot of people are just confused as to what this is exposing. Other people made memes out of the situation, like this person saying, going to make a special exception and share these DMs with the public. Do with this info what you will. Where he basically says some nice things about this person and their weight loss journey and how they behave as a person. But anyways, returning to the original post, people were confused. What does this expose? All it shows is that Denims TV is completely detached from this corporeal dimension. Like, I don't know where her head's at, where she thought this was exposing anything. It's kind of embarrassing. But of course, I wanted to share this video for a more, I guess, personal reason, because I can relate to the situation in a small way. It's not the same. It's not a one-to-one comparison whatsoever. But Tectone is someone who I had personal beef with about a year and a half ago, if you know the deep Rev lore. But we ended up exchanging some DMs after some public stuff, and it was pretty heated, but we kind of just like left and went our own separate ways and never really interacted for like a year and a half. But recently Tectone reached out. He extended the proverbial olive branch to me and said some pretty similar messages, nice stuff, and basically wanted to squash the beef between us. And I agreed. Unlike Denims TV, who wanted to leak these DMs and try to prove something, I just was like, okay, at the end of the day, beef with internet people is not worth holding a grudge. And no, this does not mean my opinions that I disagree with him on change in any sort of a way. And there's plenty of things we still disagree about, but I'm not going to hold an active grudge and try to sling mud at one another for the rest of our lives because we had a set of disagreements. It's not worth all this effort, and I saw an opportunity to move on, and we're going to move on. It's really that simple, and that's the way it should be with a lot of people, but that's not the route that Denims TV took. In fact, she has continued to double down on a lot of the stuff that has caused all these issues, and Tectone would basically quote a screenshot where he says, guys,
I just want to say the following. Yes, you shouldn't hold beefs that are minuscule. There are some bigger things, like, let's just say, a woman leaves her husband and child behind to fuck around for 4 years. You may forgive her, but never accept her back. The other side is the exact same. If a father does the same thing, exactly the same. You may forgive that person, but never take the person back. And if the person pleads and says, hey, I want you to forgive me, say that it's okay, just say, F off. I found my peace with it. I don't care what you're doing. So yes, as you might see, I am a bit more complicated in my moral stance in some things, because I am not the Lich to just be like, yeah, I just forgive somebody that harmed me. I am more of I find my peace with it. If it's something I can forgive, I will. Even if it's just something we had just a discussion or just didn't, like, it's a small thing where we just didn't agree on something, that's bollocks, that's nothing, that's just all day. But if it's something bigger, nah, I accept it, move on, and if the person pleads for forgiveness, I don't give it. Because at this point, who does it help? Does it help me? No. Does it help the person that harmed me? Yes. Why should I give a fuck at that point then? If it's something bigger, if it's just a disagreement, just, yeah, fine, words were so told, seen, forgiven, continued. Simple as that. Normal play after that.
Denims leaked that I'm a reasonable, forgiving person before she started calling me a abuser. Am I cooked? And she would respond further after that, saying, end quote, she's so obsessed with me and even reached out to play Fortnite with me, end quote. I expose his lies. That never happened. And then in quotes, wow, this is what men get for trying to extend an olive branch, end quote. And she says, sorry, I'm not interested in olive branches from people who abuse my friends, SA my friends, and speak about women this way. And this is referring to allegations that were made about 7 months ago where someone accused him of SA. Now, at the time, again, remember, personally, I did not have a good view of Tectone at the time. So if this was something substantial, you bet I would have talked about it. But looking at this from the outside, I saw no tangible evidence to support anything. And apparently this person went to the police. They alleged they went to the police, and nothing's happened with this set of motions here over the course of 7 months. Everyone's waiting for something to happen with this, further evidence or any evidence for that matter. And people like Denims TV made up their mind and they accused him of this crime. And it's ironic because she was someone who was crowdfunding a lawsuit and apparently is still pursuing personally a lawsuit against Ethan Klein for defamation, where he essentially just showed her own clips and words back to her, and she just didn't like it. So it's pretty wild that she's going this hard down this road. And speaking of leaking DMs, Tectone will also make this post where these are allegedly leaked DMs between her and Destiny, which is very ironic, where she was apparently trying to have a threesome with him and this Atlas person. I don't know who it is. All I know is I needed bleach after reading this, but anyways.
Oh my... you did... She wants to... I don't know who Atlas is, I don't care, I know who Destiny is. What the fuck would be... Why would you want to do anything with that guy? He's literally a degenerate if it comes to things like that. What's wrong with you? Acolytes, you have to know at one point, the stuff that came out about Destiny, that's just the surface. Under it there is way more. There is always way more under the water. And the waters are deep. Especially with a degenerate like that. Why would you risk it? What the fuck is... Okay.
Round 2, and show an update to the DMs where he would say, would you prefer Mario Kart Worlds? A very fair response to everything going on here. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation overall involving Denims and this beef here that really has gone nowhere and just showed how out of touch some of these people are. Like, look, if you have an opportunity to squash internet beef and all these things, you don't have to take it, but you don't have to go nuclear. And if you are going to go nuclear, at least have something that actually makes any sense in your personal interactions. This proved absolutely nothing. And the fact that anyone thinks this is an own is crazy to me. But anyways, that's going to do it for this situation. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah, this is just... Ugh. I'm gonna be honest, acolytes. I don't know what the F is in her head. But on the other hand, she supports a terroristic organization, so... You know, this is just... What can I say more, except for Tectone is just on a redemption arc 101. It still could be played, by the way. I just don't believe that somebody goes from being this constantly hateful to actually trying to help people for absolutely no reason in this short amount of time. Or at least from what I know. This is just not something that I believe that is made out of actual concern and redemption or a will to redemption. It's probably just made because the pendulum is swinging in the other direction where freaks get more and more shade. And he behaved like a freak. He definitively behaved like a freak. Let's just say he was toxic as F. The things he said are just absolutely effed up in the head. Or were. But now that the redemption arc is just going... If it continues, good. If it's just a play of his where he just plays everyone and suddenly he's the villain again, it wouldn't surprise me. But right now, as long as he's actually behaving in a normal matter or in a positive matter, let's just enjoy it. But not be surprised if he just changes again and does the same shit again in half a year. But, and definitively the victim in this case. Definitively. Won't argue against that. But as it is, acolytes, good night.